which will have 5 rounds here at Kirkistown and 1 in Ingolston at the end of the season. On the front row, Colin Lees, Dennis McGall, all Mondial cleanly away. But look at Leslie Wright there, nipping through in the Reynard. Joey Greenan in the red Reynard, also in the second row. Rather slow start, but there's no doubt about it. It's Colin Lees, and trying to come through in second place now, and indeed he has. Dennis McGall, Joey Greenan on the outside.
Leslie Wright made a superb effort under braking, got in front of Colin Lees there, Alan. Amazing effort. But Dennis has got into the lead now. If he can consolidate this and build on it for this lap, it makes a tremendous difference. But they're all pouring through Fisherman's now up to the chicane.
So Dennis McGall it was, of course, in the Mondial, who led them down into Fisherman's, and there they come streaming through. Colin Lees in third place, looking at the rest of the field coming through. But let's just pick it up with the leader, Dennis McGall, who won last time out. Leslie Wright, last year's Formula 4 2000 champion, in second place. Then Colin Lees, and desperately late on the braking there, and indeed Leslie Wright going a bit wide.
Yes, Leslie ran wild there. In fact, he got away with it amazingly. He didn't even lose a place. I was sure he would, but there seems to be a trace of oil up there and some dust on the road. But at the moment now, Leslie will not give up. Motorcycle champion many times. He knows what it's like to fight back, and he's really putting Dennis under pressure now.
Dennis McGall, whose son, of course, will also be racing here this afternoon. And there he is in the WAM-sponsored Mondial, one of the directors of the Mondial company. And indeed, Leslie Wright has a situation that he's very used to. He's in the middle of a Mondial sandwich at the moment, with Joey Greenan just behind Colin Lees there in third place. Joey Greenan in fourth place, really nibbling away. So a very interesting two-mark dice here at the moment. Somebody that, in fact, was Martin Boyle, trying very hard indeed in the Crossley there, getting very crossed up as he came through the chicane that time.
Joe Greenan now closing on Lees as they come out of the chicane. And as they come down into the hairpin now, McGall is slowly being caught by Wright, who's pulling out of the slipstream. Surely he's too far back to have a go. Yes, just taking a wide line, wide entry. He'll come out of this corner quicker than Dennis. And as he go up to the start and finish, he's actually almost right in now under his rear wing. This is the closest he's been. He's now pulling out as he go over the start and finish line. Oh, he's getting squeezed on the inside, waving furiously. Not at mother. And as they go down into Colonial 1, he's going to have another go, this time on the outside. No room. Again tucked in behind Dennis. Again looking for a quick run across the bottom.
Really putting extraordinary pressure on at this time period of the race. Just a quarter distance, 5 laps completed out of the 20. Leslie Wright, you're watching in that light blue Reynard, the very latest machine from Adrian Reynard, the designer in England, up against the very latest machine from Bangor in the Mondial factory. And a tremendous dice it is. Leslie Wright then, who only took up motor racing incidentally in 1981, and really has shown tremendous form right from the start. He's really going to have a go this time, but once again a little bit late on the brakes.
He's perfectly positioned as they come out of the hairpin now. He's tucked in right underneath Dennis's rear wing. He's really going well. In the background, Joe Greenan is almost on the grass trying to get past Colin Lees. Dennis again holding the centre of the road. Leslie Wright trying everything he knows to try and get past. He's now got level with Mondial. No, has to drop back as he brake for Colonial 1 and turn in. In fact, at this point of the race, Leslie may be actually slightly quicker than Dennis, but he's got to get past to establish himself.
So the gap between the first dice and the third place is just about 3.5 seconds. And there you can see it. Very nice shot as the leaders come through the chicane as fraught as ever, and just behind them this fabulous dice between Lees and Greenan. And then we have Martin Boyle, twice Formula 4 1600 champion last year, in 5th place. Then a bit of a gap before we get Tommy Reed, and behind him Brendan McKenna.
Greenan having a huge effort under brakes beside Lees. He's got through. Lovely bit of driving. Lovely. He's come out in front of Lees, and in actual fact on the same line as Lees, and managed to establish it. Dennis is still fighting off tremendous efforts by Leslie Wright, but now they're catching a back marker as they go down into Colonial 1. I don't know if that's going to mess them up or not, but already Greenan has pulled away from Colin Lees. Already he's got about 3 or 4 car lengths of a gap. Colin was very unlucky here the other night. He blew up his good engine, and he had to put in an old spare, so he's probably suffering a bit from horsepower.
So one of the 382 cars there, really very much in the way at the moment, and Joey Greenan having problems getting around him at Fisherman's. And look at the very sideways Martin Boyle, and obviously that new Crossley still a bit too much oversteer. But Greenan trying now to pull away from Lees. They've both got past the back marker. There's Martin Boyle, and look at this for the lead.
And Leslie Wright has got it now. He must have it if he keeps his cool under braking. He's in the inside. He's on the brakes early. Nice and smooth. Yes, he's come out in front of Dennis, and he's maintained his line.
Just coming up to half distance there. They come past the start-finish line this time. They will have completed 10 laps, and the order then is 31, and that is Leslie Wright. In second place, number 47, Dennis McGall. Then we have Joey Greenan just closing up there, so it's 31, of course, in the lead. Joey Greenan is 38, and if anything, Dennis McGall possibly sounding a little bit rough there, Arnie. Is he in trouble?
I think he's got an engine problem as they come out onto the back straight, and Dennis is dropping back very quickly. Joe Greenan has passed him. Dennis McGall's stopping on the back straight. Colin Lees has gone past. Very unfortunate. He's obviously had an engine problem of some sort.
Out he comes out of the hairpin, up through the gears. Second, third, fourth, up into this flat-out left-hander Deader's Dip. The fastest corner on the circuit, taken in fourth gear at well over 130 miles an hour. That takes a lot of guts. Then it's bang onto the brakes, right down into second gear. Really working all the way, and of course very hard suspension in these little cars, powered by the 2-litre Ford engine. And we're watching Leslie very closely because he has been making these extraordinary pit signals in the last number of laps. I wonder, is there some kind of problem in the car? It certainly isn't showing in his lap times, Arnie.
No, he's going very quick at the moment, and I think actually Leslie has established a very big lead for this type of class. It's very unusual to have as big a lead as this. He's settled down to a very neat, smooth rhythm at the moment, and I think Joey is possibly a little bit too far back just to get in touch with him.
There's the battle for second place. You can see that Colin Lees by no means has given up.
Now I think Colin's got his act together. He's pulled away from Martin Boyle again, and I think he may actually be closing slightly on Joey Greenan, but it's very difficult to pull back this amount of time with the number of laps we have left.
2.3 seconds between second and third, but the man out in the lead, just having completed his 19th lap now, onto his last lap, Leslie Wright. And it's going to be a very long lap indeed for him, because he has known the heartbreak of going out when in the lead at Kirkistown before. Anything can happen. A wire can fracture, Arnie, as you know only too well.
Yes, that's right, Alan. I was leading the last Formula Ford race here, and a small wire pulled out of the ignition pack. So I can only hope and pray that nothing like this happens to Leslie. I'm sure he's got everything crossed. Fingers, toes, a whole lot.
So down he comes, out of the chicane for the last time, down that long back straight up into fourth gear, touching probably 125 at this moment. Then hard onto the brakes, probably a little glance in the mirror to see where the opposition is, and he can't even see it. It's a long, long way back. And Leslie Wright is going to not only lead the National Gyrobank Championship, there he takes the checkered flag, a superb drive. In second place, Joey Greenan, Colin Lees, who's had a pretty miserable day with that engine going this morning in practice, and then that lovely little dice for the pre-82, albeit a lap down. Ronnie Maben wins that. Martin Boyle was the third of those cars across the line through into fourth place.
And the other voice you heard there, along with Alan Tyndall's, was that of Arnie